In the last video, we have learned about the row widget and explored various options for aligning widgets horizontally. We have also been able to center our text widget horizontally. Now the next thing that we want to do is to see how we can hide the image asset on the right without removing it from our row. Now this is a good opportunity to introduce a new widget called Opacity. So I'm going to add this widget first, and then I'm going to explain how it works. So here, like we have done before, we are going to wrap our widget with a new widget, and we're going to call this Opacity. I'm going to format my code. Now Opacity takes a child, which is our image asset, and also it takes an opacity decimal value between 0 and 1. And so here we're going to set this value to 1 and see what happens. And if we hot reload, we see that the image is still here. However, if we set this value to 0 and save, we can see that the image disappears. So how does this work? Let's tap through the documentation for the opacity widget. And if we scroll all the way up, we can discover that opacity is a widget that makes each child partially transparent. So the way this works is that if we set a value of 1, then the child widget is completely opaque and visible. Whereas if we set the value to 0, then the child widget is completely transparent. In other words, we can use the opacity to make widgets visible or invisible, but without removing them from the widget tree. And this is exactly what we want, because it means that we can take advantage of the main axis alignment dot space between property of our row to center the text horizontally. Okay, so we have managed to get both the logo and the text in the desired position inside our custom raised button, and we've done that by using a row with a main axis alignment value of space between and an opacity widget. Just to be clear, I admit that this is a bit of a hack, but considering that we are only using this to build a relatively simple layout, I think it works well in this case. So what we're going to do next is to refactor this code into a new widget class so that we will be able to reuse this for the Facebook button as well.